Hello everybody and welcome to hole number 1 in this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division in the Tropic Kings tournament. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. So let's go! Before I take my first shot, do not forget to check down in the video description for timestamps in this playthrough. So you can skip hole number 1 if you don't want to watch that, and you can go directly to hole number 7 or 8 or whatever. Also, the link to patreon.com/golfclashtommy you can find down below as well. And there you can go in and order the text guide for the Tropic Kings tournament. So, the drive here for this shot is going to be downhill, and therefore we need to add 10% to our adjustment. The way that our opponent is playing here, though, is not really the way that I'm going to play. I'm going to play left side. Left side is going to give me, according to myself, a better chance for an eagle. It looks like a very tiny spot to aim for, but it's not that really hard, in my opinion. I do feel though that we risk more going right than we're going left, and therefore I'm gonna play here. 10% extra, as I said, max side spin to the right. Doesn't really matter if you do have wind left to right or any other type of wind. And then we're gonna use 1.5 bar topspin for crosswind, 2 bars topspin for headwind, and 1 bar topspin for tailwind, to get ourselves as close to the rough on the other side of the bunker without risking having the ball go into the bunker. You can see that I'm playing with a power 3 ball as well, and you can play with other balls, but and the drive will be okay, but the problem we get then is that the second shot is gonna require a decent amount of distance. So if we do want to play with a sniper, which I believe many of us will do due to the accuracy in the ball guideline, then we do need to play with a power 3 ball for the second shot. If we do not do that when playing with a lower level ball, then I would say that it's time to maybe pull out like a Big Dog, Cataclysm, or the Guardian maybe, that gives us a couple of more yards so we can reach to the same type of distance without having any problems. In this scenario here, I'm gonna have the Sniper level 10, which gives me 175 yards in terms of distance, and that's good. Max backspin, and here I'm gonna use a lot of backspin. I'm using 4 bars of backspin here, and you can see how much I compensate for the push that we're gonna get, because this shot is pretty famous for having a very long first bounce, and especially when having tailwind, we're gonna have an extended ball guideline, and therefore gonna have a little bit of a problem. We do need to over adjust our shot with 10% here as well to be able to get to where we want. So, this is gonna be no curl, and as you can see, I'm having the side spin, having the backspin as well. So, getting it in here, bounce, and it rolls, get in the hole for a nice little eagle. Nothing that we can really just expect us to get, but it's very nice when it happens. Hole number 2 here. Here we're gonna play a par 3 with backspin. So don't really pay attention to that I'm having the Apocalypse level 6, even though it's hard when it's on the screen. But the reason I'm showing this is that we do want to have a driver with at least 5 to 6 bars backspin. Quarterback in a max level, Rocket in like level 8, I believe it is. And then Thor's Hammer in a decent level, and also the Apocalypse. All of them has a decent amount of backspin, and it will allow us to play on the first piece of fairway there. Even in tailwind, it's gonna be possible to play there, but then we do need to play with the Rocket instead in tailwind to give us more backspin. It's still gonna be an inconsistency with the bounce, but at least we're gonna secure a birdie on this very tough par 3, because this is a par 3 where players is gonna have a hard time to make an hole-in-one. It's going to be easier to make a par. If you do want to go for the rough bump, have in mind that that rough bump is very inconsistent and could sometimes roll you all the way over the green. And so it's, in the end, now I've said it, otherwise it's going to definitely be some people that are going to complain about that later on. Hole number 3, par 5 of the Sunshine Glades, and now we're going to play on the fairway before, like the fairway island you can see there, before the more round fairway island, or whatever you can say. We do need to over adjust 10%, and you can see here that our opponent is gonna try to go over directly to the second fairway island. The thing there that you do need to have there is that you do need to have backspin. We do need to have at minimum 4 bars of backspin to let the ball, to get the ball to stop on that fairway. So I don't see that as a bad play. It's just a play that is suitable when you do have a backspin. I don't know if that's bunker or that's water. You judge that yourself. So now we're gonna have to play with side spin. We do need side spin, and we do need curl, and also a little bit of top spin. So 4 bars top spin, as much side spin to the right possible, playing with a power 2 ball, because we don't really need distance on this hole at all. We just need the side spin attribute as the most important one. So if you do have more katanas, then play with a katana, then rather that than playing with a kingmaker or a titan, which is more valuable balls in my opinion. Great right, it's not gonna hurt us this time, but of course we're gonna make sure to not hit great the next time. We're gonna have around half a ball to 75% of the ball outside the outer part of the ring to the right. But the second shot here, we do not need a distance. And therefore, as I said earlier, the ball, we play that ball just because of the spin. And then the second shot here, using the sniper that we're having, even though a sniper in a lower level will have no problem to reach towards the pin in any form. Also, something to just mention, this is an older recording of the Sunshine Glade hole. So we're gonna have a more bright, it's gonna be sunny. It's not gonna be dark. So it's gonna be sunny. And so have that in mind, so you're not gonna be fooled when you're gonna play this one in the tournament. Still gonna be hole 3, still gonna play the same. The only thing to think about for the second shot here on hole 3 is to over adjust 5%. So if you over adjust 5%, you're gonna be fine. So sniper here, use around all from like 1 to 4 bars backspin, depending on what you feel confident with using, because this adjustment and this drop can be made in so many different ways. I'm using 4 bars backspin here, and you can see here now it's impossible to see the ball guideline here on the video because the green's so bright, but it's not gonna be bright in that way on the tournament. It's gonna be bright in a different way, so we're still gonna be able to see. We're gonna adjust for this shot going to be in maximum distance. I'm not adjusting this one for maximum distance, and therefore I'm gonna drop short and gonna bounce below the pin. Still no problem to make the putt, but not the best shot in the world. Hole number 4, par 3, and here I'm playing with the Goliath here due to the less backspin I'm having on my wood club. So that's something to have in mind here. I would almost want you to scrap this type of play. I would like you to play with the Guardian with as much backspin possible, aiming directly at the green, ball guideline at the pin, adjust your shot, and then hopefully make a hole in one. If you do not have the backspin, then we're gonna have to play with a long iron before the green. Then it's important that you have at least 3 to 4 bar backspin on your Goliath. Make sure that you over adjust 10%. Super important, otherwise you're not gonna bounce on that spot that you're aiming for. Have in mind, once again, Guardian, backspin approach, go aim directly for the pin. Gonna be so much easier to lock that birdie in, but also giving you a better chance for the hole in one. Hole number 5. Hole number 5 is gonna be par 5 of the Santa Ventura. Here we do need a ball with side spin. Side spin 3 is preferred. It's not a must, but side spin 2 would work as well. We also need a power 3 ball. Not for the drive necessarily, but we do need a power 3 ball for the second shot, so we do not find ourselves in a spot where we're gonna have a struggle reaching for the green for the second shot. So you can see I'm gonna change to a Marlin ball. I don't know if I'm trying to be just cocky and try to be able to make it with a Marlin ball, but this is definitely not the best possible way to play this hole by choosing this type of ball. It's gonna require a drive that is gonna have to be, the drive is still gonna have to be very close to the rough on the left, but using this little amount of side spin is definitely gonna be less helpful, I would say. We do need more side spin. We also want to go with a little bit more curl. Want to follow the rough line on the left there way more than we're doing now, and kind of get into this type of distance on the fairway. We don't want to go longer, because you can see the trees there on the right, they are in play, and they will be hard to stay away from if we do drive too far. Then we're gonna have to play with a lot of curl, and that's always gonna be very tough to estimate in a proper way. So, second shot here now, and here you can see once again the importance of picking the right club combined with the ball. I'm gonna play with a sniper and I'm all in here, and that's gonna be the absolute worst possible combo, I would say. I don't think there is a worse combo than that, because a sniper doesn't really have a distance, but the other clubs have. Look how close our opponent is on the green there. You may be thinking like, oh wow, he would be better off with a pot. No, if you do go short on the green having a pot, you're going to be not having the enough distance with your putter to make that in the hole. So it's even more important that you do get this ball to the green and get the ball to roll towards the pin, or getting it kind of close to the pins, and not gonna just roll into the green and have a unmakeable putt. I'm gonna roll here in towards the green. Not the best shot, but once again, the best way here is to play with a ball with side spin, also giving yourself a club with distance for the second shot. Here, hole number 6, par 4, here we're gonna go for green. I'm gonna play with the extra mile and a power 3 ball, and we do want, in crosswind tailwind, want to go with 4 to 4.5 bar backspin here. And if you do have a straight tailwind, I would say 5.5, even 6 bars backspin could be preferred. But it's all coming down to where the ball is going to bounce to be able to get this ball to stop on the green. Stretching it out to adjust from overpowered position and putting it back into max overpowered, then we're gonna go with a slight amount of curl, around 75% of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the right. We hit great right, always a little bit risky to hit great. Still hit the platform though, getting it in there to the green, and gonna have no problem to putt this one in for an eagle. This is gonna be a must eagle in the tournament for sure, and something that we do need to make on the green. If you do not have any club that do give you as minimum 4 bars backspin, then we're gonna play up to the right, roll as far as possible, or we're gonna use a club that gives us a lot of topspin, going through the trees, maybe, and in the best case scenario having a wedge, but most of the time then having a rough iron wedge towards the pin. So 10% extra for the drive, and then we're gonna be golden. Hole number 7, par 3. Here we're gonna play with a 1-to-1 method with the sniper. A power 3 ball is not necessary. It's due to me getting in with a power 3 ball in a shootout. Power 1 ball with a side spin 2, or power 2 ball with a side spin 3. So Quasar or Katana is the 2 balls that you are gonna choose between. In tailwind, we're gonna play with 6 bars of backspin, and then we're gonna have the second bounce just being before the fringe to get the correct type of adjustment towards the pin. Then we're gonna, in the end, if we're using a side spin 2 ball, we're gonna play with 1.5 ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left. If we do have side spin 3 ball, it's enough with 1 ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left with straight wind. With wind left to right, we're gonna play with 1.5 ball curl. With right to left, we're gonna play with half a ball to 75% of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the left. And here you can see we're coming in nice. Stay away from the rough bump. If you play with another club like the Guardian, I don't know why you should, but if you do, then you have the adjustment as 10% extra. Easiest way is to take the wind, adjust as what the wind says. It's a 4.6 with a sniper. You played 4.6 rings. Hole number 8, one of the easier holes in this tournament. Also gonna be required to actually give yourself a good spot for the eagle. And now when we do have headwind, the drive here is gonna be very tricky, as it's gonna be very tricky, as we are not gonna have that big of a chance to get enough distance. So we can play very aggressively by playing like our opponent and risking a lot. And that's not something that I want to do in headwind. So I'm gonna show you an alternative approach on what to do in headwind here. And that is that I do want to play up to that little tiny fairway island on the right there. and leave myself with a long iron for the rough bump, or even a wood club, depending on how far we're gonna reach on that shot. If it would be a crosswind or a tailwind for the drive, it would be a different story. Then I would be going either to the top left or to the top right, and having a long iron or a short iron for the rough bump there as well. But once we're having headwind, I'm gonna stay away from overpower as much as possible, especially when I'm not seeing that much of a reward wise with the drive there. So I'm laying it up here: 4 bars top spin, max side spin to the right, 10% extra with max numbers, and then we slight curl it to the right. And of course the curl is dependent on the wind angle, but at least that was the shot. Then we're gonna leave ourselves up with a wood club here towards the pin, or in this case with a power 3 ball long iron. Our opponent here is gonna play up there to that tiny little fairway island, and that's gonna be the absolute best case scenario. And therefore, once again, if making a mistake and going into the rough there is gonna be a super tough one to save for a birdie. And as this hole is kind of in my book valued as an eagle opportunity hole, actually a good one, then I do really want us to play it as for in a way that we at least get an opportunity. Getting ourselves to save the birdie by going into the rough with a drive is not really an opportunity. I'm not using any topspin or backspin here. I would like to maybe use just a smidge of backspin. But the trick here though, when you do a rough bump, when we do have some headwind, then we're gonna let the ball guide line go through the hole approximately 1.5 squares. If we do have a crosswind, then we're gonna play the ball guide line just through the hole a little bit. And then when we do have tailwind, we're gonna let the ball guide line be to the hole. It's important to do those things because otherwise you're gonna be coming in way hot or way short with your adjustment. Hole number 9. Hole number 9. Final hole. And if we do, I can start by saying if we do have tailwind, we're gonna go full blast with either a hook shot, or we're gonna just do a regular curl shot to bounce over to the second fairway using a power 5 ball. We're gonna see what wind we're gonna have once the tournament wind is released. That's gonna be the thing to decide what we're gonna do. Our opponent is unfortunately hitting this ball good, and that's definitely not gonna be helpful. And here, this video, it hurts me a little bit to show this video because it's not that good play, but it fulfills a purpose, and that is that this hole is so famous for that if you pick the wrong clubs, you're gonna be having so hard time, and you're almost gonna be dead if you do have a tough wind. Which you, with picking the right clubs, gonna have a fairly easy time to get to the green in 2 and lock in the eagle. So here I'm playing with XMI level 6, a max side spin. I'm not using top spin because I'm afraid that I'm not having enough curl to be able to compensate for the extra push that I'm getting from the top spin. I'm only having half a ball of curl. So the thing that I want you to do here is to play with a quarterback and a power 3 ball, back up the adjustment a little bit and use top spin and go with 1 ball of curl to the left. That's gonna get you more distance, and it's also gonna make you a much easier time to stay away from the trees there to the left. Because if I would be hitting great left, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be staying away from the trees. Now you can see we have a headwind for the second shot as well. And that we may be having the tournament, we don't know. But if we do have a headwind here, we do need to have distance with our drive, so we're not putting ourselves in a spot where we can't reach for the green. That's gonna be not fun, and we don't want to flirt with the bunker or with the rough. So, second shot, here you can see we have the wrong club. Again, we do need the big dog or the cataclysm here, giving ourselves topspin, giving ourselves distance. We do need that 175/180 yards of distance, and we also need to get the drive even further. So this ball is going to be in the bunker, but you can see how much I lose by picking the wrong clubs I'm already from the start, and that's something that we really need to think about while coming into the tournament. So have that in mind when you're playing hole number 9, and don't go into the sand. Sure, I saved that one, but I hate bunkers, I really do, because the needle goes all wild back and forward, you know. So this was the playthrough for Pro and Expert Division in the Tropic Kings tournament. Once again, if you do want to get the text guides and also maybe to update the text guides. Update the text guide is when I give you pinpointed information on how to make the shots in the tournament. All from the drive down to the approach shot towards the pin. All from distances to spin, curl, adjustment, everything. And those are only available for patrons, and I can assure you that that will improve your game yeah, a lot. So if you like the video, please take your time, hit thumbs up before you go. And the video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the Tropic Kings tournament.